2007 Stagknight, Lee. You haven't seen this one.
No one has.
I had.
I rest my case. What do you mean?
It's like a fun, low-budget British or Scottish, whatever the hell they are.
There's something. I kind of hated it.
Yeah, it's not great.
I was I see what they're going for, and I really actually wanted to like it, but I'll talk about it more with like examples or whatever. But things kept happening where I would be like, what are we doing? What am I watching? What is this? Like it was like I found it baffling, and like I couldn't really like get into it, and like
no, I agree.
It kept letting me down in ways where I was like, well, I don't care anymore. If you don't care, I don't care.
Well,
and
yeah,
yeah.
I think not caring is exactly what the movie was, because
Yeah.
you get to the end and you're like, wait a minute, why'd that happen?
What are we doing? Yes. But not in like the usual, like we ran out of money or we're doing it to try to be funny way. It was all just like, what?
Yeah, but it's a cheeky,
it's a documentary.
They call Bachelor Party Weekend a stag night or whatever.
No, it's and the British flavoring is enough. And it's like really short, and it's so baffling that it's like you could watch this and not even notice. So feel free to watch it. But I didn't think it was super great.
No, it's a curiosity at the very least.
Yeah.
I will say I recommend.
You can study it.
Yeah.
But you will not enjoy it.
So if you've seen it or don't care, false over to spoilers, and if not, pull out now.
If you need a place to rent content, you better listen. We're Cannibal Video and we eat the competition.
All right, here we are for the spoilers of Stagknight. Lee, let me hear them spoiler-filled thoughts.
Woo! So this was the second movie that I watched this week, and I was like, well, I unexpectedly liked the first movie that I watched, and then I watched this one, and I get like 5 minutes in, I'm like, what the fuck? I like this movie too?
What have you done?
Shut up!
Because it starts...
Impossible.
It starts... and there's like, it's like British and wacky, but it's like 100 years ago, and it's like Llama Day, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And it's all goofy. It reminded me, there's a show, it's like called like Dark Something, it's like British.
I know writers who use subtext, and they're all cowards.
It's the one where the guy's like, I know authors who use subtext, and they're all cowards. I've never watched it, but I've seen clips, and I'm like, that's British genius. This is amazing. And it had that vibe. There's this old guy who's like, and then like some getting stabbed and all that shit.
Yeah.
No, please, stop!
No! If you stop, we die. Now come on! Faster! Come on!
And the effects, there's like a glow and like weird energy moving through mausoleums and stuff, and I'm like, it's like a new movie that's using those effects from the 80s that I loved. This is gonna be great. And like, hey, how bad could it be? There's only like an hour left in the movie. This will be a breeze. And then fast forward, I'm like a skeleton. I've been trying to chew off my fucking thing to get away. I'm like, it was such a chore to like get all the way to the end.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think this movie's actually a little too long. It's like an hour and a half.
You won't be back for a long time, if ever.
Super duper.
So like, for a low budget movie,
yeah.
that's a little long.
It's like 120, I think, total with the credits.
What I liked from the jump, I like what you're saying there. I liked it. Reminded me of like Bruce Campbell in like the Sundown Town movie. What was that called?
Fuck! I would have known if you had just said the vampire movie.
Yeah, what the fuck that movie's called?
It's taken me years to finally trace you here, to finally fulfill my family's destiny.
Sundown, Alabama.
But then it goes to like the credits, and I'm like, oh, these kind of remind me of like Ernest credits.
These are cool credits
like,
too.
Okay,
Ooh, they're
I'm
flashing
on board.
me
what
and
do we
stuff.
Got here?
Yeah.
And then it proceeded to be a movie that I was like, I think could have been really great if it had money.
Interesting.
And I think that it was a very ambitious project for being a low budget movie.
Wakota.
Yeah,
Like,
I think
just
it could have
in general.
I think it could have survived on humor and like character stuff, but it doesn't. It
Humor
tries.
is hard on no budget.
Yes. Well, you know, you can be funny.
Not shots. Nice.
You can be funny, but like some of their issues are like, okay, the visual, does it sell with this? Oh, can we hear what's happening? Is this like?
Are you going to get Ginger?
No, I am going for pizza. What do you want on yours?
Well, is it okay?
Like, we didn't have the money to use actual actors, so we have to use who's around.
Is it 100% dubbed? Are certain characters not even talking?
I'm not even sure.
Something's going on.
Some
though,
of them
right?
seemed like very German to me at times, and I was like, it's probably just Europe.
I'm gonna fuck you up!
Mondays are usually best for me. Hello, Roger, darling.
Oh God, and I shouldn't even say this, but there's two characters who are like, I guess Indian or something else. But I'm like, they reminded me of the dude from Short Circuit, where like halfway through I'm like, is this person even Indian?
So now I am having no job to speak about. I will have to smack the sidewalk.
Is this a blackface British man just doing an offensive impression?
I didn't get that vibe.
What is happening?
But it is a very stereotypical accent. But I also.
But at the very least, it's someone who is like leaning into a stereotype because of how they look or something.
Done. Beware!
In like a cringy way where I'm like, that's not a joke by itself,
yeah,
and it's a
he's
small
playing
part.
A pimp, and he's like this and that.
And well, because it's meant to be like this juxtaposition of like, I talk in this Britishy, Indian-y British way, but then I'm like a lewd whatever guy, or I'm saying whatever.
2 times.
I didn't know you played volleyball, darling.
I gave him some of my finest moves, man.
Well, and they lean into other racial stereotypes too. There's the guy from Korea who, like, when he goes into his fight mode, he's like, "Oh!"
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that's you're doing something on purpose.
The only thing that made that like almost okay was that once he sees that the bad demon thing has a big sword knife,
it runs the
he
fuck
just
away.
He runs away. But he's doing like Daffy Duck. He's doing like a Looney Tunes running away noise, and then it cuts away and it cuts back, and he's still doing it. And I'm like, okay, I understand that this is a joke, but it is not funny at all. And I'm just awkwardly sitting there in silence being like, what am I doing here?
What that is, and I notice it a lot in like, I'll say bad movies, is that like when you don't have the money to do it right, you're like, okay, we're going to act like we weren't trying to do it right, and we're going to ham it up.
Lean into it.
Ham it up.
Yeah.
And that's what, I think a lot of the problems with this movie are, because it has some fun things.
Because the bitch has a real cross! You moron!
I like it in general.
One thing
all bad that I was looking for the whole movie is there's a really tall character. He's like the younger brother of the person who owns this hotel.
Junior, right?
And you see him when he first comes in, and he looks gigantic.
About time.
Holy giant.
He's like at shoulder height over the door.
They want to play.
And I was like, okay, I need to see him in front of other people so I know how tall he is. Because you only really see him with that old lady. And I'm like, she's probably just short as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm like, that house is probably a set because everything else is a set. Like, some things are just like, oh, it's like towels on the wall with writing on them. I think that is made to look like he's super tall. So I was like, I want to see how tall he is. He feeds the guy a sausage. I'm like, okay, by the angle, he would be very tall right here.
Yeah, and they film it from like below.
Yeah,
like he's
like Lurch.
In the first scene, the biggest guy we know, the like bald guy in charge guy.
Yeah.
Number 2, no cell phones, no disruptions. So give him up and get him out.
He's like, that's a fucking giant or something.
Yeah,
and you're like, oh shit, this guy's gonna be whatever. Yeah. The sausage scene also, okay, there are certain moments in this that I think are sparks of genius and kind of indicate that whoever's making it is funny and like is capable, because they use background actors who are reacting to something else. They go, oh, like in the background to like diegetically supply the audience's disgust of this dude playing with this sausage in his mouth. Or something like that. They play up the moment in this way where I was like, this is filmmaking, this is cinema. And then it immediately falls back off a cliff and starts meandering around again.
The things that I just couldn't get over is like, this is a dude's bachelor party. He's getting married to like the ugliest woman on earth.
I love you, Barb! I love you!
Do we see her?
Oh yeah, she's a guy
on the phone?
In a dress.
Oh, I thought that was like, they're at like a male strip club or something.
Yeah, well, she is there watching. You see a guy's ass at that point, but like she is reacting to it. She may even have a beard. It was very pronounced, like, you know, like
that's when he like
joke.
that's when he like kisses the phone, like that's my baby.
Kisses like the flip phone from
like,
1996. Yeah,
that fits.
But like these are all his friends, and like when you look at it on any level, almost none of them appear to even like him.
Bye, skin boy.
Guys?
Don't be too long, boy.
Charles.
Charles waiting for you.
Charles, you can't leave me here.
Well, like, they don't appear to be his friends. You don't know how they would have ever met or interact ever. Like, 2 of them are semi-nice to him, but those same people also, like, bind him in a gimp suit and put things in his ass.
Whoever is responsible for this, can have it back. Mike.
That's just how boys interact, Stefan.
I don't think that's true.
Nothing toxic about this masculinity at all.
They make him snort X-Lax at one point.
Yeah.
This one, big one. It's for the groom only.
Like this is like a
Wonderful.
horrible scenario.
This is why I don't have any friends.
Well, you can't.
Except you.
Can't afford it.
I can't be dealing with this shit. No, this is. I'm not defending it as like realistic to this degree, but what they're pulling off of is like the frat boy, like, oh, we fuck with each other, but that's because we're friends.
I've been through these like a bloody rat.
Oh, you can't take a joke, mate? What the fuck?
I guess, but none of it felt that way. Like,
well, because they're making a film that's a nightmare, and yes,
yeah,
because they're not filming it like he understands that it's all in fun, and they're not filming it like he thinks, oh, they've gone too far this time.
Yeah.
It's just a flat thing that happens all the way up to including his unceremonious death in the finale. Where you're like, why is this even? Are you just trying to film a thing that you think really happened? Why is this a movie? What is the arc of the movie? What's happening?
It is like a bad version of Murder Party.
I'm so sorry, please forgive me. I didn't mean to do that.
What's happening?
Like that's like the same caliber budget, but pulls off all the things it goes.
I was gonna say, yeah, humor you can do on any budget. Humor's fine. You can.
So like, I'll say yes.
They
Physically,
don't.
you can.
Yes.
But I would say, by and large, the amount of low budget comedies that actually hit it is the minorest of fraction. There's a reason low budget leans towards horror, because it's very forgiving.
Because horror fans have brain damage. Yes.
Oh, dearie me. I think she's dead now.
No, like comedy's really hard, and I think that the big budget is like a filter where enough people have to read the script to be like, okay, it is actually, yes, this is funny. You're onto something, kid, or something like that. Regardless, the point is, yes, it's not funny, and that's its main, because there's not a bunch of like fantastic kills or gore
There are a few.
or anything.
You idiot!
There are kills. I'm taking issue with, like, that's obviously not the selling point. You're not like, oh,
no,
yeah,
like, well, there's
gore.
a fun, like, guy's head gets flattened. Bit.
Yeah.
A guy gets stabbed through his mouth and out his ass. That one's kind of good.
A guy gets full of paintballs.
He lived.
I know.
The
no, but that's a death
red-misted
scene.
guy
He just shows up at the end for no reason.
So that, I'm like, what is that? What does that mean? Did he get mouth to mouth by, like, a lurch? Like, and he comes back like it's a big reveal. I'm back. What? No one cares.
No one even likes that character. Doesn't make any sense. But that's the thing, is like sometimes something like that would happen, and I would be like, is that a joke? I think that they're doing, because there's one. Okay, this just popped into my head. It's totally different, but like there's 2 guys talking, and one guy's giving the other guy like a pep talk, and I think he's pissing onto the other guy's shoes.
Yes.
A kebab? Yeah, man. You know you don't need it, but it's that extra touch that makes it a night to remember.
And that was the only one that was a good friend to him. Like,
yeah, but like that's meant to be some sort of joke.
Yeah,
they're trying something. So I think the other stuff too. Like when something happens and you're like, I've seen a movie before. This is what's going to happen with this. She's gonna bite his dick off, and then it's like, no, she somehow has his gun now. And
oh dear.
And it's this weird what? And like I think that like their meaning for that in their like British, I think it's too highbrow for us. I think their meaning in their own British way of making these falling short of your expectations to be absurdist like comedy. But it is not working for me.
Yeah, it's fitting that like just to breeze back a little bit.
We're all
the guy that gets shot while he's like a rapist. And
who is this? Which guy?
The blonde guy.
Oh, he's a literal rapist.
Yeah, he's a literal rapist.
Yeah, he got shot with a Desert Eagle.
That was for my whiskey.
Who then like goes for some ladies like, you're more of a gilf than a milf, but why not?
Okay, so you're more gilf than milf.
He's like in the middle of holding her hostage and like, sure.
He pistol whips her and she gets sopping wet from it and then goes to suck his dick.
I like a strong man.
And I'm like, she's biting that thing off. I'm sorry, continue.
She doesn't even get injured from that. Like he hit her pretty hard, and she's like,
because she's a fucking ghoul of some sort. I don't know what's going on there.
So ghoul of some sort. I'm gonna say this is that we don't know what the bad guy really is. Is
No.
he a ghost? At one point, like the Predator, they all unload paintball guns into a spirit.
Yeah, he's the Guardian, but yes, I forgot. There's every movie has Predator in it. There's vision of like the Guardian's vision. There's one scene where like one of the guys who has face paint on, like the guy from and like
they all kind of do.
But like Predator doesn't own that. You can do whatever you want with face paint. But the one guy, it's the same scene as like Billy Horse or whatever his name is, where he's like shouting into the jungle. And the line he says is he's like, come and get me, you ugly motherfucker, and just trails off to make it like worse. And
come on, you big, ugly, fucker, motherfucker, fuck.
Not funny, but he's quoting Predator in like the jungle with an invisible monster or whatever. So I'm like, what are you doing to me?
No,
yes,
it could be genius if done a little differently.
No, it's not genius. It's bad.
But no, of course not.
But yes.
But yeah, that he's like in like he's the bullets are going through him.
It's
he's
like non-corporeal.
Yeah.
What the fuck was that?
The guy says they must have
some
shields.
Sort of shield.
They must have shields or something. Shields?
They must have shields or something.
What?
But that's the Guardian spirit.
That's
okay,
the Guardian.
Go ahead,
Yeah, but in
the old
every
lady
other
is
scene
like,
except for that, he is essentially a man who is like, hellbound. And
he's just a big douchebag.
They don't... either there are things happening that are not necessary or not. So, like, granted, she didn't have the key. The key was inside this crypt, and, like, our pimp guy found the key.
Oh, dearie me.
He put it on the girl, and that's the actual key. And she has a fake key.
The key? Unwin.
But everything she's doing is she's like, all right, so that this chant has to be summoned by 9 people, and then those 9 people will be killed, and then I can get into this thing.
Yeah.
But he doesn't kill all 9 of them, so clearly that's not the part of the key. You don't need that. You don't need this bad guy. It seems like if you were to put, because like, if you just put the key in there, he disappears and the thing opens up, so...
I don't know if they knew that or what the relationship is.
I don't think they knew anything. They were just doing things.
I thought she had the real key at first, but there was like a switcheroo when they fell into the pit or whatever.
No.
Something like that?
The real key was the amulet.
On Lammas Eve, make it so.
It was inside the crypt.
Yeah.
Like the actual casket.
Okay.
Along with a bunch of gold, which no one cared about. Apparently.
Gold.
He says something like, welcome to my blingdom.
Welcome to my blingdom, baby.
But the old lady, though, right? She spends the whole movie pining away, wanting whatever's there, whatever the thing is. And she's always looking at herself in the mirror, I think, and like touching her face. Where I'm like, do they say it's like eternal youth or will
I don't think
something?
they say youth, but I think they say you'll not die. So I think it said power and unlimited life or something.
All power, eternal life, yada yada.
It's like a fancy power thing, but like she's looking at herself in the mirror as if like, oh, this is gonna fix this problem with me being old and shit or something.
Better work.
They just caught her while she was doing some shit. No, I hear you.
But it happened once or twice, and then like later, it's like a different mirror even, and she keeps doing it. And I was like, okay, this is some subtle thing that's meant to communicate to me what's going on.
Even if it wouldn't give you youth, look in the mirror, you could be like, oh, I'm closer to death. And
she's like nervous about how she's any day now. Yeah.
Maybe.
But she's a tough ass bitch.
I think my favorite part was when the guy is with the groom and like he sees the bad guy coming. He's like, all right, and you see him like slowly just stripping off, and he has a knife and he's just in a Speedo, and he's like, all right.
And it's like a COD PC, like armored Speedo, where you're just wearing that underneath everything the whole time, and he's like,
he's ready for war.
This is it. This is my moment to shine. Yeah.
I also like the Sam Jackson like speech from Deep Blue Sea.
Oh yeah.
Of that guy who just gets a spear through his chest and ripped out of the scene. You're like, oh.
Jeez.
Yeah, I saw that. Okay, so my brain is so damaged by this movie, I'm not sure if I've already said this exact thing, but there were points in time where, like, mentally I would be already in the next scene. Like, I would be watching this scene, and I would be like, okay, I get the point. I know what's happening here. They're going to cut back, hopefully, to these people, and we'll be able to move forward a little bit. And then mentally, I would be, like, imagining, like, the future of the movie. But the scene I'm in would keep going.
Listen up! We gotta get back to the cottage. Call the cops.
To the point where I'd be like, why are we still here? Like, what the fuck? He's just, are they ad-libbing? Like, what are you doing? Like, what's happening here? So, I say this to explain in a roundabout way, I was caught off guard by the bald dude getting stabbed. Because that scene goes on for so fucking long, and things change so much that I think he's given his speech and now he's doing something else or whatever, and then he gets got, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know, because
it was like on the button and saying, and don't any of you motherfuckers think about dying, or I'll kill you myself.
I'm gonna kill you myself. You got that?
Just a walk in the park.
Come on.
Yeah. No, but that's like, it didn't have it either didn't feel like it was time for it to happen because they screwed it up, or they made it happen in a way where somehow, or I wasn't expecting it in that way or something. It was really weird.
Brian, Wolfman, Steve the Queen, Makoto, go back to the cottage and find the phones.
We're all dead.
We're not gonna die.
I'm sorry, we don't have to put this in the video, but 42 minutes. Your breath smells like cock. This is torture. What the fuck is happening?
Your breath smells like cock.
What am I watching? That's what I wrote in the movie. My notes. So I'm sitting there like this, like, are you motherfuckers? What are you doing to me?
If it has tires
or testicles,
it's gotta be trouble or whatever.
Yeah,
yeah, and she's tapping into the what's the name of the woman on of like the Wet Bandits of Goonies, the woman who's like I'm gonna blender your arm or whatever to the fat kid.
hit puree. No, I'm too young. No, I want to play the violin. Not my hand. Not my hand.
Look at me in the movie. That Chunk. Yeah, exactly. So like she was tapping into that and also tapping into like the crazy British like, oh, I'm really in on it person, but you find out like a second into the movie, so there's no tension whatsoever.
Yeah.
Are you sure? Then it's all set.
Like
I did I think oh, that's an elaborate prank, like before you really know what's happening.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, but when it goes from being an elaborate prank to being like, oh, it's a clever ruse by some person to make you summon a demon, I'm like, that's kind of dumb. Couldn't they have just like found the key, or by touching it something happened?
She had a cross. So there's 2 crosses.
Did the old lady give the bald guy directions on what
she gave him the script of what to say. She gave him all the robes, the fake knife, everything.
The lady who runs the joint thought it'd be fun for the history teacher. Yeah, she laid out all the costumes, even the script for the ceremonies on the house. Beer?
She knew that there would be 9 of them. Like, it was this whole, like, what?
Oh, she does confirm. Oh, yeah, is the reservation still for this many people when they first arrive?
All 10 of you, right?
As agreed.
Excellent.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. But do you see that before or after it happens?
I don't remember.
Because while it was happening, I was like, I bet this is a ruse, but like, that doesn't make any sense. Why would they do all this? Like, it didn't make any, and then the fact that our, I almost said birthday boy, the like bachelor boy, he knows, I'm an expert in the Knights Templar, and I read the book all the time, right? Where it was like, that could have played into it if it was the friends, because they were like, oh, we're going to do a ritual to you that's going to freak you out extra, and we're going to leave you in the woods, we're going to have a dude dress up with like a trash can on his head and be like the Knights Guardian Templar, Templar, and then it's like, oops, wait, there's a real one, and then they meet, and it's like Scooby-Doo, and it's like, come on, man, stop playing. And he's like, ugh, and then he like kills them. You could have done a whole.
There's a whole lot of layers here.
I just wrote a whole movie in like 2 seconds, and it's like they don't concern themselves with any of this.
Bastards! Slicers!
It's just like, here we are.
Or even like if that would have got interrupted by like, if you would have mixed this with, what was that one like with Richard Grieco that was barely in the movie?
What the hell is this place?
Like Sam Ways or something, like they were like,
oh, Samhain, fucking
the
ancient Irish, and it's been 100 years to the day, and now
so like they're out there doing their little joke thing, and then it gets interrupted, and people get kidnapped by it, and he's like, oh, this is a good joke, guys. It's not a joke, you fucking idiots. That's
because everyone's drunk and high, and they got the hookers, and there's fucking costumes, and they're dressed up like a gimp suit, or he's dressed up like funny. So mad shit could have happened where you're.
I am the Bang Daddy. Let me tell you what. I show you Indian thing. Let's go.
Oh, naughty boy.
You're like, oh, I thought this was a joke, but it's real, and then fake outs, and then, oh, the guy's not dead. Like they could have pranked him, where part of the prank is, wait, it is real, and then people just have ketchup, and they're like pretending to be dead, and then they get up, and they're like, ha ha ha, but then someone else is really dead, but they don't believe him now, right? They could do a whole, like a movie.
Like that great potato famine horror movie.
I'm sorry to make you think of the potato movie again.
I love that movie.
What?
We saved it. It's been deleted off the internet. Only we have it now. Outer space potato movies.
That's not it.
You heard me.
I thought you were some kind of outer space potato man.
The old lady busts through and like her "Here's Johnny" moment. Is this a private party?
Is this a private party?
Am I interrupting? Yeah.
I just ended with like, the movie ends and I'm like, wait a minute, why did any of this happen?
Absolutely. No, and like I should be super fair. There were parts, I don't think that they were funny, but I like got them on a certain level and I enjoyed it, or I said, I know why this is in there. There's the part where the guy is watching the other guy shitting on the porta potty.
Mike! Put your dick away, Mike.
For like way too long or something, and there's something like wrong with that guy, and the audio is all weird and it keeps being weird, and I was like, okay, this could be like a weird British take on a weird thing.
Sure,
but
no,
then
there's things
so
like,
much,
and that guy then goes off to shit in the woods, gets his head cut off to a realistic looking head, for his body anyway, and then dropped into his own shit, which I was like, okay, points for dropping a man's head into his poop. I like that. But the one character becomes like the butt of the joke just because he's gay. Like everyone seems to like be laughing at just the nature of like, oh, this guy's dressed nicely. And he steps in a puddle and like the world laughs.
Damsel in distress.
And it cuts to the guy in like the jumpsuit, who's like the Korean stereotype character later, and he is pointing and laughing in a way that is like the laughter in Surf Ninjas, where it's like it's something I could use to cut to over and over again if ever something's not funny and I need a little. He's like.
We make a perfect loop gif of it.
Yeah.
Or whatever. That scene was so strange. I forgot about all that stuff. But yeah, that's one of the perfect examples of something that's played down the middle. Where playing it down the middle means playing it straight means being cringe. Yeah. Like they're just mocking him for like being gay and
slowly falling into more mud.
I was gonna say, and like I guess getting his clothes dirty, and that's like, because that's the ultimate. It's one thing for the guy because it's your bachelor party, maybe they're hazing you. The fact that they're shitting on other people who came and they used to be on like.
Well, a lot of them don't even seem to get along. Like, and that would be a thing in a friend circle. Is like they're all there because the common denominator is the gimp suit guy.
No, because there's so many fucking people too. This was another one where like, because they put on fucking hats and like face makeup at 2/3 of the way through. So I was looking at people being like, I know exactly who that guy is. He would open his mouth and start talking, and I'm like, that's a different guy. I thought it was another guy. And then like the guy I thought he was is a dead guy or something like that. But yes, they were like a paintball team back in the day. So you don't even know. Like you used to do shit with people, and you do like I like remember that guy, but we're not like tight and whatever. So this is just a like reunion-y thing where I mean, I don't know why you're friends with an obvious supervillain racist, rapist guy.
No.
Or whatever.
He could be racist too. Don't limit him. Don't put him in a box.
He probably is.
Just looking at him, probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
A real one. Yes, dog man. I have a real gun with real bullets.
That bone structure.
He gave me Dennis vibes.
So they are in danger. No one's in any danger. How can I make that any more clear to you? Okay, it's an implication of danger.
Of like, you don't come out here and dance if you're not going to do what I want you to do.
Yeah.
And then like just like hits her and we're doing it anyway.
It was big like the implications.
Do you really think you could come out here, get your kids off in front of a bunch of blokes, and nothing was going to happen?
Yes. He had like a Neil Patrick Harris vibe too.
And I am not letting you get away again.
Where I was like, you're kind of a something from like Gone Girl or whatever, not from like
Doogie Howser.
Not from like.
The human male reaches his sexual peak, the height of his sexual energies and desires, between the ages of 17 and 18.
Hey, excellent! I'm this close to my peak.
Not from 13-year-old. You know what this was.
Alright guys, thanks for watching. Let us know in the comments what you thought about it. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next time.
If you want to support the show, head over to cannibalvideo.com, pick up some merch.
And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button.
That's alright.
Yeah, that's something.
Whatever.
Fuck these motherfuckers.
I have had enough of this bullshit. I am out of here.
Cannibal Video has everything you need. A wide array of VHS and DVDs. We ate the competition, now it's only us. Our expert staff opinion